here with Alyssa Titus today to talk a little bit how Schell Brothers has been reaching out to community members and forging relationships with both homeowners who have homes with them and also just the locals in the area. Can you talk a little bit about why Schell Brothers thinks it's important to invest in community outreach?
So throughout the course of the year, we're always doing community outreach. We know how important it is to give back to the community, and our homeowners love this about us. I think it's one of the key tenets of Schell Brothers. So during this time, we knew it was mission critical that we stayed connected to the community, even though we couldn't see people face to face. So we have a giant school bus, a black school bus that we renovated. And in typical times, it goes to schools and festivals. As schools were closing, all of our local food pantries that serve our communities were closing as well, because many of them were in the schools. So we realized there was this instant void for families in need to have the ability to get food. So when we knew that, we kind of just leapt into action, and we turned the Project Kudos bus into a food distribution bus. So we have a warehouse behind our office, and we turned that into a fully functioning food distribution warehouse, and we packaged up sets of groceries for in-need families in the area, and we partnered with all the local school districts. So we figured out where we needed to go to get this to them. We would load the bus up, and we had contactless delivery with people. So we just do a drive-through grocery delivery. So we did this, we started at the very beginning of the pandemic. So we have delivered over 200,000 pounds of food, reached, I think, 2,000 plus families. At its peak, we were delivering about 650 packages of food a week. So it has been really cool and really rewarding. And what else is cool is homeowners had their own food collections in our communities. So the homeowners were super engaged. Some of them would come and help at the warehouse. You know, we all had to wear masks and gloves and stay a safe social distance apart, but they would help us come and sort food. They would sometimes help deliver to some of our food pantries that are still open. So it's been a really cool and rewarding way for Schell Brothers to connect with our community. The other thing that we did is we have 17 billboards on Coastal Highway 1, which we are in Sussex County, Delaware, at the beach. So they're highly visible billboards, and we decided to turn these into messages of positivity.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was really neat. So we have 17 billboards on Route 1 that all say things like keep hope alive, stay positive, cheers to our healthcare workers. We actually have one that says cheers to our teachers, and we got a call from a teacher, and she was like, I pulled over and started crying. I was just so moved by this. So it's been really great for us. And it's interesting because these aren't things that inherently one would think they add value to Schell Brothers, but the payoff is incredible because we think it builds our connection to the community, builds our brand reputation, and it spreads happiness.
So 17 billboards and all the food distribution, having a bus, I imagine that is actually pretty like a high cost initiative that works out for you guys. Do you have any suggestions for smaller community outreach for maybe smaller home builders that don't have that kind of marketing budget?
Absolutely, Annie. I think there's so many little things you can do to stay connected with your community during this time. I think things as simple as like having a food drive at your office and then giving it to a local food bank. Super simple on social media is messages of positivity and sharing inspiring stories. So we're not always talking about Schell Brothers on our social media pages. You know, we might be saying, hey, look what company X did today. They spread kindness just like we did, and we love that. Or just we have a Kindness Rocks initiative that we do sometimes too. So we'll paint little rocks and then spread them all around the community, and it gets our homeowners engaged, it gets prospects engaged, and then they start sharing our content. They start painting rocks and sharing their rocks and posting us, tagging us. So I think things like that can be really simple and not cost a lot of money. I mean, a food drive is basically free, right? All you need to do is say, hey, put a box out and say, hey, we're collecting food for X organization.
You know, during the pandemic, a lot of homeowners and a lot of people living, you know, locals in the area have been hit hard, but then also small businesses have
Yes.
also been, just devastated. Are there any ways that you can think of for small or for home builders to engage with the local business community?
Sure. So I'll tell you what we do. And again, this is not super cost prohibitive. We have a celebrity club because we're Schell Brothers. So all of our homeowners, when they settle on their house, get 2 gold celebrity cards. And we started this about a year and a half ago. We reached out to every single small business owner in our county. So we sent emails via all Chamber of Commerce's. We just reached out to people we all knew and said, hey, do you want to be part of our celebrity club? We'll help promote you. And you can just give our homeowners 10% off or whatever if they present the club card. So we already had that set up. And during the pandemic, what we did, we have a really simple text messaging platform we use. It's really cheap. I think it's called Simple Text. It was very, cost was almost nothing. So we were sending out their messages via text. So, hey, open for takeout tonight, is ribs night, $10 off. So we were really just trying to promote shop local. These businesses are closed, but you can still get stuff via takeout. You can still buy from them online. So we have been hitting that really hard during the pandemic.
So obviously there's a lot of reward to forging good relationships with the community and everything, but at the end of the day, builders own a business. So how do you measure the success of a campaign like this or the value?
Right. So that's tricky business, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely analytics driven as well, and I care about my CPCs and I care about my conversions, and then we're looking at that daily, and that's really important to us. It's really hard to measure the success of doing this kind of outreach. I think for us, one of the things that we want people to think if they decide they're going to build a house in Sussex County, Delaware, we at least want every single human to have our name in the game. You know what I mean? Like, oh, those crazy people at Schell Brothers, let's consider them, because I hear their name all the time because they're building something for the community, or, the Project Kudos bus is out on the road. So I think it's a little anecdotal and hard to really quantify with analytics, but I do think we've succeeded with, the billboards and 17 billboards on Route 1. And all these kindness initiatives, and we're always in the conversation when home buyers are considering coastal Delaware. And I think it's because of some of these things that we do. I mean, if you come into Sussex County, I think you'd be hard pressed not to hear something about Schell Brothers.
Thank you.